Welcome, I'm Dr. Melina Roberts, and I want to talk about 3 components that can activate autoimmune disease. Now, autoimmune disease is when the body attacks itself. So it's really when the body has a difficult time being able to decipher self from non-self. And there's lots of different autoimmune conditions. So there is allergies, eczema, psoriasis. We can see it as vitiligo. We can see it in terms of digestive disorders like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. We can see it as thyroid issues like Hashimoto's thyroiditis and Graves' disease. And we can also see it as lupus or multiple sclerosis. So there's lots of different autoimmune diseases. Now there's lots of different autoimmune conditions, and they all have 3 common components that you will see in all autoimmune diseases. And number 1 is intestinal hyperpermeability. And this is a leakiness of the digestive tract. So how this happens is that we have inflammation in the digestive tract. And then what can happen is that we have damage to the tight junctions, which are proteins that hold the lining of the digestive tract together. And when you have damage to these tight junctions, you end up with holes in the digestive tract. So food that's not completely digested ends up in the bloodstream. And when it's in the bloodstream, the immune system sees this as foreign and starts to attack it. So we see an increase in the immune system. And when the immune system is activated continuously on a continuous basis, what happens is that then the immune system is overactivated, and this can set you up for an autoimmune picture. So it's overactivated over a period of time, and what needs to happen is that we need to be taking care of the digestive tract. So this is one component. We will see an intestinal hyperpermeability. The next thing we'll see is an overload of stressors on the body. So often we will describe this as a barrel of stressors. So these stressors can be everything from food sensitivities, immune challenges, heavy metals, environmental toxins, everything emotional and everything physical. So these are all of the different stressors. And when we have a number of stressors on the body, once that barrel is full and it starts overflowing with toxins, that's when we start to see symptoms. So there is the other component is that we have an overload of toxins, and sometimes it just takes one extra toxin on into that barrel, into our systems, that will trigger that autoimmune picture. And the third component, the third thing that can contribute to that autoimmune picture is a genetic susceptibility. So I don't blame genetics on a lot of things. I think that most problems, there's probably about 5% of problems that are genetically related, but I think genetics do play a role in terms of letting you know that if you don't do anything about it, that you will have some genetic susceptibility. So in terms of that genetic susceptibility, what we can look at is, first of all, we can look at our own personal genetics. So if each person has had an autoimmune condition at any other point in your life, then that would leave you more susceptible to an autoimmune condition later on in life. If anyone in your family, so a first degree relative, has an autoimmune condition, this can also increase your susceptibility to an autoimmune picture. So there's definitely some genetic markers that can indicate that you may be more susceptible to an autoimmune picture. But this is one way that we could be looking at it. But this is typically what we'd be looking at, is that there's a genetic susceptibility to an autoimmune picture, which would put you at an increased risk of an autoimmune condition. So these are the 3 things that would contribute, that really need to all be happening within a body in order for you to actually have an autoimmune picture. And then these are the 3 things that we'd be working on. We'd be working on improving that intestinal hyperpermeability, that leakiness of the digestive tract. Would be working on that overload of toxins. So you want to work on removing a lot of that toxic load in the system in order to allow the body to be able to function properly. And then in terms of genetic susceptibility, what you want to do is you want to clean up that internal environment. You want to clean up that terrain, because what we know about genetics is that if we clean up that environment, that genetic susceptibility would not express itself unless there was like basically a toxic load that was interfering with that gene expression. So really what we need to do is we need to clean up that environment and clean up that terrain to make sure that even if that genetic susceptibility is there, that it doesn't get expressed. All right, I hope that helps, and I hope that all makes sense to you. Thank you so much for watching. I encourage you to share this with your friends and family, to press the like button, to press the subscribe button, to make a comment below, and until next time, continue to learn, grow, and build health. And I'll see you in the next video.